Today I'm taking a look at the Monster Tag Sale and Flea Market in Suffield, Connecticut. I've never been to this flea market before. I'm honestly not sure if this is the first one ever or if they've done it before, but I do see that they have another one coming up this month in June. I'm not sure if I would characterize this as a, quote, monster tag sale and flea market, but it was still fun to go to. It's free parking and free admission, so if you're in the area, definitely check it out. Now let's see what we can find. This definitely felt more like a tag sale to me than a flea market, in that there weren't very many what I would say are professional dealers. It seemed to be a lot of people that do this part-time, or they were just doing it this one time. It definitely feels like a tag sale in that way. And that can be a good thing, because a lot of times the professional dealers are going to have a lot higher prices than somebody would at a tag sale. At first I thought this radio here was maybe a shortwave radio, but it actually looks like it's just AM/FM. And this old lunchbox here is interesting. I'm actually not sure if it's old. The design is definitely old, but the paint job looks very new to me. So if you know, is that an antique or is that a modern lunchbox? These stone orbs here on the stands kind of remind me of the Palantir from Lord of the Rings.
Oops, sorry.
Smaller, of course, but very similar. And here's something I don't see too often at flea markets, is actual furniture. This looked like pretty good quality stuff here. If I was really looking for new furniture, I mean, this would be a great place to get it for cheap. These old stamped metal dollhouses are interesting. I'm guessing it's from the 50s or 60s, and I know they made a lot of other toys out of that material back then. Here's something I haven't seen at a flea market before. This guy is selling the Ungun, which is some sort of less than lethal firearm. I've never really seen any working firearms before for sale, as far as I can remember. Not sure why, but I find these stone skulls interesting. The prices on these range pretty wildly. I mean, I've seen them for between $10 up to like almost $100 in some cases. Kind of reminds me of that Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull movie. And you'll notice I'm skipping by a lot of stuff. That's just because a lot of this just didn't interest me whatsoever. Got some old VHS here of the Honeymooners and the Tonight Show, it looks like. For some reason, I thought this was a Betamax, just because the box looked a little bit smaller than normal, but it's just VHS. So now the other half of the flea market is on the other side of the field here. This lady here was selling those Ukraine lawn signs. Some interesting stuff in here. I like to try and figure out how old a globe is by looking at the countries on it, and usually my go-to country is Czechoslovakia. So if it says Czechoslovakia, then you know it's older than the 1990s. This one seemed to be a bit newer. Good. It's an old 8-track tape. Those are actually fairly hard to come by at flea markets nowadays. And a red stapler, like the one from Office Space, the movie. I'd always heard that Swingline actually had never made a red stapler. They just made one for the movie. But this one definitely is older than the movie. This looks like it's 70s or 80s, I'm thinking. Unless it was repainted. But it appears to have been originally red. I think these are old road hazard kits that you would keep in your car. These are obviously reflectors. Not sure how old they are though. This is an old atlas. It looks like it's from the 1950s based on the copyright date that I found in there. But I wish I had gotten better video of this. You can't really see it too well, but it's always interesting to look at old maps to see how the borders have changed and the names of the countries have changed. I like these chainsaw carvings here. I was surprised at the price though. They're only between like $30 and $70, I think, which, you know, it's a decent amount of money, but that type of thing you usually see going for a lot more at a flea market. This guy here had a ton of old baseball cards. You know, probably 20, 30 years ago I would have gone through all these, but I don't know. I lost interest in baseball cards probably in the mid-90s.
She's legally blind, so this way she can still enjoy books. You know what, I've been on YouTube even.
And this guy was selling a lot of old camo stuff, Army surplus gear. And I always wonder nowadays, are you really allowed to wear camouflage if you aren't in the Army? Because I always see these YouTube videos with people getting called out for stolen valor. So I don't know, what's the rule with that? Is that okay to buy if you're not in the Army or in the military? Let me know.
Yeah, but I think where they today.
He had a nice selection of rocks and minerals here and geodes. Looks like some pyrite there, fool's gold. There's some nice amethyst quartz, the purple stuff. These old 7-Up bottles here are enormous. You usually see like the 8-ounce or 12-ounce ones. I don't see these big ones too often. I'm thinking this is probably from the 50s or 60s, but I'm not sure. If anybody knows, let me know. And these eggs here kind of remind me of the dragon eggs from Game of Thrones. And more skulls, which are pretty nice. I love this old drawing of the seaside here. I probably would have bought it if it weren't so terribly water damaged. And they're selling their own maple syrup here, made at Hilltop Farm apparently. Looks like some old Franklin Mint collector plates there. I remember seeing TV commercials for those all the time back in the 80s and 90s. I don't see many more though, but then again I don't have cable, so I don't really see any commercials anymore. Because this was my first time ever at Hilltop Farm, I wanted to take a look around front too and see what else I might be missing. I got to imagine the view here would be amazing if it were clear skies. Even with cloudy skies, it was a pretty impressive view. And there you have it. That is the Monster Tag Sale and Flea Market in Suffield, Connecticut at Hilltop Farm. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'd really love to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to have a ton more flea market videos this summer, and you just don't want to miss them. So until next time, see ya.